Yesterday, Dan and I started working on this, and right now the radiator is out. Thermostat housing has been cleaned. New bolts in there as well as a new thermostat. We think down below the transmission leak is coming just from the transmission pan gasket, and this hood is heavy. There it goes. Down underneath is the pan gasket, which is right here for the transmission. Focus. There we go. And we think it's leaking right here in the corner. And the shop said they would have a new gasket for us today, so that's the first thing I'm going to be doing here. Putting a pan under this and catching all the fluid before Dan gets here. And then once the new gasket is on, hopefully that'll be it. I hope it's not leaking way up here where the transmission meets the flywheel from the engine. I also notice a lot of old-timey things here. There's one. There's one. Focus. Grease nipples on the bottom of your running gear. You're expected back in the day to put a grease gun down here and lube up your suspension. Even in its current state, there's some of the bushings are worn a bit, but she floats along. Very, very nice to... sorry, I'm laying down. Very, very nice to ride along in. The trunk, which I need to get the keys, because, oh, you can't open the trunk with one hand, you need two hands, because all the little locks here are spring-loaded. So you pull them and then they snap back, so you need one hand to hold the lock cover open, and the other hand to stick the key in and open the trunk, because there is no release inside the car. Oh, she also has Pennsylvania plates on her now. There it is. So I just have to wait for the title from the from PennDOT, and then we'll be good. No changes on the inside. The only thing she has is a modern radio, but it's an AM/FM with a spot for a CD player in the glove box or something else. There's a little port. It looks like a MIDI port on the inside of the head unit there, and this is, it says Ford on it, so I think this is one of the recreation ones. It has a fake dial on there, but when you put power, I think it'll turn on if I do this. Yeah, green, it'll turn on. But I think it has to have the key in for you to get a radio station. It has a digital display there. We got this button up here that says CD, but there's no CD attached to it. And there's a MIDI looking port on the back. Maybe I can find an adapter that could just go to an auxiliary jack, or maybe if I can find out which one of those little slots in the port in the back is your audio in, I'll take an old pair of headphones, cut them, scrunch up the wires and shove them in there, and that may be good enough. You see all the little, I don't know, Bakelite or early type of plastic of all these knobs here. They're all in very good shape with the exception of the one here on the gear selector. This one's coming off and flaking off in like sand, like sandstone. I think it's because at this one, all the ones down here sit down out of the sun, whereas the one on the gear selector is way up high and gets hit with sun coming in. Oops. Okay, enough of me blabbing. Time to get to work. Talk to you later.